Okay, today you are going to look at dividing decimals by other decimals. So we did dividing decimals by whole numbers, same as we did with multiplying, and now we're going to do dividing decimals. So what we have to do is, it says Casey is 4 and 5/10 feet taller. Her brother Jerome is 6 and 7/500 feet tall. How many times taller is Jerome than Casey? So you're going to find 6 and 7/500 divided by 4 and 5/10. So what we have to do is we have to multiply 4 and 5/10 by 10 to make 45, and then multiply 6 and 7/500 by the same number, which would be 10, to make 67 and 5/10. The reason we have to do this is the number outside the house has to have the decimal at the end. So we have to move it once, and then we have to move it one more time on this side. Whatever we do here, we have to do here. So then you place the decimal right above. The reason is, in multiplying, what you're doing is you're at the end putting in the decimal based on the spaces. Here, to make the division easier and take this number into this number, you want to have the decimal at the end. So we moved it once, and here we moved it once. I know that seems confusing. So what they did was, let's use a different color, brighter color. They did 4 and 5/10 into 6 and 7/500. So to divide by a whole number, you're going to have to move the decimal. You can't divide by a decimal, that'd be crazy. So you got to move it once here. If you move it once here, you need to move it once here. Okay, so that's what we get here. It's at the end now, and now it's here. Okay, then you're going to divide normally. So we know 45 is not going to fit into 6. That would be crazy. So 45 into 67 goes once, because 1 times 45 is 45. So 7 minus 5 is 2. And 6 minus 4 is 2. They already are bringing down the 5 for you. So now you have this big number of 225, and you have to figure out how many times 45 goes into it. Well, we have to go back to our old days of long division. It's the same thing. We have to multiply and figure it out. So let's do 45 times 4. Let's give that a shot. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 2 is 18. All right, let's try 5. So this is all the same, so don't get overwhelmed. You know exactly how to do this. When we did long division, it's the same thing. Now we just have to figure out where we put the decimals. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2, 22. Good. So we got exactly 225. So 45 goes into 225 5 times. And we know that 5 times 45 is 225. Beautiful job. So we know that we get 0 here, so we have nothing left over. So our answer is 1 and 5/10. Okay, so now I want to check this, and I want to show you that it checks out. So I'm going to multiply this number by 1 and 5/10. Okay, so I'm going to say 45. I'm going to leave my decimal at the end, times 1 and 5/10. Remember, in multiplying, we just line it up normally, and we worry about the decimal later. Draw that turtle head. 5 times 5. Good. 25. 5 down. 2 up. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2. Good. 225. You used your 5. You drop your egg. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. Good. So let's add these together. 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 2 plus 4 is 6. And then here you look up top. You only had one space to move that decimal because we had moved it here. So you put one space in, so you get 67 and 5/10. Oh, which brings us, back to our number, because not this number, it's the number that we moved the decimal. My apologies. So it would be 67 and 5/10, and it would check out, okay, because you moved the decimal. All right. Beautiful job. Awesome. Okay. So here's where they checked. So what they did was they moved it back, and they moved it back to the original 1 and 5/10 times 4, and that's why they got 6 and 75. So that's correct. Beautiful. Okay, so let me erase this for you, and I'll show you the check so it's not so tricky again. Okay, so here they're doing 6/100 divided by 1 and 5/10. So they're moving the decimal and moving the decimal. That's because you need to have a whole number over here. So they moved the decimal to the end, and they moved the decimal here. So it was 6/10. Okay, so they took out this 0. Here, I'll show you over here a little bit. This is very tricky for the first time to look at it. So they moved the decimal to one place. Okay, so they took the 0 out, and they did 0.6, which is 6/10. That's what you're seeing here. I'll show you why they annexed in a 0. So 15 goes into 0 times. Okay, 15. Now 15 can't fit into 6. So what they did was they annexed in a 0 for us so that we could say 15 goes into 60 how many times? So let's find out. Let's try 4 times. 5 times 4. Good, 20. 4 times 1. 4 plus 2 is 6. Awesome. So it goes in 4 times. Okay, so the 0 goes here as a placeholder. Okay, and 4 times 15 is 60. Okay, so they did 15 goes into 6 0 times. 0 times 15 is 0. They subtracted, and then they brought down this 0 to annex in. And you know that 4 times 15 is 60, so you get 0 left over. Okay, so they're showing you the answer is 4/100. Beautiful. So here I want to show you how you check for that one. Okay, so they're showing you right here how you check. And here they were showing you how you annex in the 0. It says place the decimal point in the quotient. The quotient is the answer. Divide as with whole numbers. Annex zeros in the dividend as needed. 15 does not go into 6. So write a 0 in the hundreds place. So that way we could see how many times 15 went into 60. And it went 4 times evenly. Okay. They took the answer and they multiplied by the original. Let me show you that. They multiplied by the original, okay, to get back to 6/100. Okay, I know this seems like a lot, and it is. It's a little tricky. All right, so let's try this one. So here, you know, you know that you cannot divide by a decimal, so they want you to move the decimal. If you move the decimal one place here, you must move it one place here. So I'm going to rewrite it over here because I feel like that's confusing. If we move it one place, we get 13. And then we have to move it one place on the inside. So if we move it one place, we're going to get not 6 and 89 hundredths, but we're going to get 68 and 9 tenths because we're going to move the decimal there. So it's going to be 68 and 9 tenths. So you bring up that decimal, okay? Now, 13 goes into 6. No, so you could put the 0 there, which is just placeholder. 13 goes into 68. Well, we have to try. We have to figure out how many times. Let's see. Let's try 4 times. Okay, so this is normal. I know the decimals are confusing, but this is normal division. We would always figure out how many times it went in. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So let's try one more time. Let's see. Might be too much. So what we have to do, we have to always guess and check, right? 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Oh, okay. So how many times does it fit? 5 times. Awesome. So 8 minus 5 is 3. You bring down your 9. How many times does 13 fit into 39? Good. 13. Let's try 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay. Awesome job. So it fits 3 times. 3 times 13, 39. And when you subtract, you get 0. So your answer is 5 and 3 tenths. Okay. Beautiful. All right, you're going to try some on your own.